Sonic the Continuation Issue 8. So the gun soldiers start shooting lasers, and Grime reveals that Gun was newly formed. Quite confusing considering Shadow's backstory. Gun was newly formed in Archie 2. Grime reveals that Gun is his new winning team, and Sonic says that he knew there had to be something in it for him. Okay, but that right there isn't necessarily evil. Gun's the good guy right now. In Archie, it actually made sense that Gun was new, because Station Square was completely hidden from the rest of the world until Eggman showed up and left the place exposed. Why would a military be new in Fleetway? Sonic spin dashes the Metal Sonic, and Eggman sends out missiles which get destroyed by lasers. Then all of a sudden, the remote he was holding the whole time gets damaged by an arrow from Amy. I was waiting for amazing accuracy to come back. Nobody can shut the merging process down, and the energies of confusing nonsense have built to a critical point. So Ebony the cat tells Grimer to go through with the merger. He calls her insane, even though if it can't be stopped now, it'll happen on its own anyways. He says that without Earth's Spire working, the merged planet's surface would be reduced to rubble. Sure, that's why Mobius was reduced to rubble after Shinozo was fused with it. Not. Ebony says that magic can offer a different solution. Only magic would have this planet merging make sense to begin with. She said that the spell worked before, and Amy says that Sonic and Super were two people, while she's talking about entire planets. Why are you doubting what a mage can do? She has to be able to succeed, or else that'd be too dark. Topaz is told to keep them safe with cover fire, and finally Eggman wisens up and tells Metal Sonic to forget Sonic and go destroy the humans. He gets hit with the laser, and Metal starts spin dashing and bouncing off the various humans. Oh, okay. I guess he has to be moving slow enough to merely bounce off them, because if he spin dashed straight through them with his sharp spines, he'd keep on going and end up spin dashing straight off the edge and into the ocean. I guess he plans on going through them later, and just wants to knock them all down in one attack first to stun them. Then he hits Amy. She gets the short end of the stick a lot. Topaz gets threatened by Metal Sonic, and Sonic goes super to fight him. Gee, good thing the link to the next page was in the description. None of the newer pages were in the gallery. Metal Sonic says he'll have a main reactor rupture in 5 seconds. Super Sonic keeps attacking him, though it wasn't super satisfying. And predictably, Ebony's overwhelmed. She says the spell's failing, and she doesn't have the energy because it's 2 entire worlds. Super, despite being so far away, really is super because he was able to hear her. So he says that energy is all he's about. So he grabs her and adds to the energy. I was just thinking that he could be useful here. Good, he saved the day. So we see Sally reporting that the world blend was done and Eggman failed. And Sally idealistically assumes that Super Sonic is good now and had a change in demeanor, when his mention of the word energy implies that all he really wanted was to absorb her power. But I guess he failed, unless Ebony isn't out of magic by this point. She does have an ice pack on her head, but I don't know why. She was never hit in the head. And a Super was even capable of absorbing magic from people. Why didn't he absorb the magic of Omni after he was sent into it? Then the issue cuts away to a scene with Topaz and the Gun Commander. The fact that we're getting a scene with these two apart from Sonic instantly makes me wonder if there's going to be a twist where it turns out Gun or both of them are evil and are planning to invade Mobius, since the humans tried to do that before. And they're already taking gutsy risks with the main characters. She's commented on avoiding global disaster, and agrees that it couldn't have been done without their Mobian allies. Too bad she didn't capitalize Mobian. How do you do that? I knew to capitalize Mobian when all I knew was the games and fanfiction. He says it's imperative that they learn as much as possible about this new world, and neutralize any threats as soon as possible. And then Topaz is introduced to her new partner, Rouge, because fuck originality, fuck creativity, fuck the intriguing infinite amount of possibilities that her being sent to another universe brought. No, instead she was sent to Earth, of all places. She at least immediately makes me happy that she's in this position when she teases her, "Are those regulation-sized hips, sweetie?" I immediately heard that in her Sonic F voice. And at least this contrasts as you see online, but it's just doing what Sonic X did already. It turns out Rouge's intelligence was vital in their setting up the world blend. Hello? They didn't get a chance to make a tower in the first place. They're told to work together to defeat Robotnik, as I long for the story about Rouge exploring a dimension we never saw before with her father that we could have gotten. Oh well. Also, Grimer, a former lackey of Eggman, working for the Gun Commander. Reminds me of the fact that Reboot Snively was in this position. So that's not original, but at least it's refreshing for Grimer. The commander is told that there's an incoming call from research and development from Grimer, and he says he's got a new nation security to set out. Grimer is drawn to look like an evil silhouette to immediately give away his evilness to the audience when we could have been surprised later. He says that the package arrived, and says to send his thanks to the president, and says that without his diplomatic skills, everything would have failed. Grimer is told that he said what he needed to get their mech project off the ground. It's surprising that Grimer is being treated meanly, but maybe it's because Rouge told the gun commander that he was evil. The story ends with the revelation that Grimer is making another Brutus. That's a huge continuity error. You'd think he'd know better than to make another version of the robot that tried to take control of the world from Eggman, and had no loyalty to Grimer either. This would only make sense if Brutus never existed and this was the first time he was made. But I'm probably going to be expected to believe that's not the case, and he died the same way. I specifically remember him being frozen and completely shattered, which would obviously not leave his head intact. It would be smart of Grimer if he made new Brutus so that the same things wouldn't happen again. So that he'd be programmed to be loyal. After all, he doesn't have access to Eggman's brainwaves this time, so he shouldn't be like Eggman. This issue had Supersonic grab Ebony's arm when she was casting a spell to help merge Mobius with Earth to be like Archie, and he added to her power by doing that because he wants to get more powerful from her. So this saved both planets and ruined Eggman's plan. Meanwhile, Grimer is still working for Gunn and plans on making another Commander Brutus, because that worked so well the first time. This is a reference gone wrong, where it would have been better to expend the creativity to come up with a new idea instead of just having an impossible continuity nod, like Croctobot was in Archie. I know Brutus was badass, but he could have made a different robot that was just as capable. So why reuse the idea that failed him? Why didn't he just make a robot that looked like Brutus?